Good morning. It is the 4th of October, Wednesday, the 4th of October, 2023. And last week, I said I should be back in my normal spot this week, and I am not. Don't know when I will be back. I'm still in a makeshift studio, if you will. I'm still on assignment, right? I don't really fuss about my job too much because I basically have 10 months of freedom, relative freedom. I have some work to do, but not a lot. And then in August and September, I have a lot of work to do, and it's high pressure and so on. And I'm usually done by the end of September. It's going into October. Maybe done. I don't look to be done by next week. Maybe done by the 18th, or it could very well go into November. So, so maybe I have to work 3 or 4 months this year. Hard 3 or 4 months this year. I'm well aware of some people have to work extremely hard under pressure every day. So I'm not complaining much, but it yeah, it is what it is. Um, what we're looking at on the table today is a game called Rebs and Yanks, and it is says Civil War card game. No additional decks to buy. This is an interesting piece because this was came out in '95, I think, and it may have been '95 or '96. When I bought it, I picked it up fairly early for fairly cheap. Um, where to get it at? Hobby shop, a hobby shop in one of the malls in where I was living at the time. I was a young man in '95 and '96. I was grown. I was had getting my career underway, if that's what you want to call it. But I was grown, and but I was in a weird mentality because I was playing those Avalon Hill games. The Avalon Hill was still around in '95, '96, right? So I was still playing those Avalon Hill games, and I was getting them, and they was fairly expensive compared to other things. And I was playing with a lot of older players, much older than me. You know, I was in my mid 20s, mid later 20s, and they were most people I was playing with was in their 50s, some older. So I had a particular idea of what war games were and what war games weren't, and that was really informed by a lot of old grognards, right? So it was what it was, and I picked this up at a hobby shop on it was, if I'm not mistaken, it was on the counter. They had these sitting there. Um, it's an odd setup if I recall, right? Because I think they were on the counter, but they were on a little pegboard on these peg hooks. And so I don't remember how much I paid for it. Not much. And retail, and I bought it. Does it say how much was? No, it doesn't. I bought it, and everybody I was playing war games with just thought it was silly and stupid, right? And that's why they put on here no additional decks to buy, because Magic had became a very popular thing. It came out in '93, and so this was '95. So this is just a trick taking game. This wasn't a any kind of a cause by '95 and '96 you started seeing a lot of other uh, collectible card games, because I mean Magic just was that big, and in a lot of ways still is. A lot of ways it's still the only. It was the only CCG that sustained itself and held on from the beginning. It's the original, and it's still the best, right? So that's why they're saying no additional decks to buy. But I bought this, and I never really thought much of it. And but it learned me something. Not learned me. It taught me something. Excuse me. Um, it taught me something about small, accessible war games, right? Because this game I've used to get at least 3 people into wargaming with. People who really wasn't interested in what I was selling. And one of them who's still a huge gamer I game with today. I've got several copies of it. These are unopened. I had a bunch more because I used to buy them. A few years ago, you could get them online for nothing. $1 for one, 50 cents, two for one. And I had 15 or 20 at one point. I'd give them away to people. And I got a few people wargaming because of this. And now, granted, once you get into any kind of war game, real war game, heavy war game, you're going to leave this behind. But this is a good thing to show people where how good war games can be, right? We're gonna look on the back of it. It's for 2 players. Yeah, fast playing, easy to learn. All the action-packed strategy of more complicated war games. Well, not exactly, but it's, again, I got some people into it. The Civil War card game that plays like a card game. Well, supposed to play. Not a collectible card deck. No additional cards to buy. Shuffle, deal, draw, discard. When your hand is powerful enough, attack. Absolutely, that's it. Famous generals, infantry, cavalry, artillery, stragglers, terrain, standard game, advanced rules, and the battles of Antietam, Stones River, the Wilderness, and Kennesaw Mountain included. All right, it's a 40-card deck. Let's look at it. I don't exactly remember how to play it. Last time I played this, it's been at least 10 years, to be honest with you. And I know the last guy I played it with because I gave him and got him into wargaming, and he's never looked back, and he's much younger than me, and so I was happy. But here's the cards. You have some leaders. I have some leaders here. Yeah. So really, let's see how you do play 40-card deck. Man, I've played with them. Extremely easy to shuffle. Wow. All right, let's see the. It's a booklet. Crazy. And I've got a couple of dice in here. It did not come with dice. I put them in there because you'll each need a D6, which kind of cool. You draw what? They got a. I can't remember if I can read that. I was telling you, cards. Startup play. Really, what you're doing here, I do know this much. You have five cards, right? And you have, that is Braxton Bragg. He gets a +1. You have an infantry card. You have a sunken road. Is that a defensive card? I do think so. And you have stragglers. You don't want stragglers. They'll give you a -2. But you're going to discard, as I recall. You're going to discard and you're going to draw until you have a hand. One of y'all have a hand strong enough, and you're going to. Sometimes you may want to go defensive if you've got a lot of defensive cards. Let them attack. Sure. And you're going to try to beat the other one. You're going to line up your cards with, say, other cards, say the sunken road. And then you're going to, line up the whatever die roll modifiers, and you're going to roll dice off. And when you do, whoever wins that's going to win the trick. It's a trick-taking game. And that'll be it. And that's it. That's all it is. It's that simple. But it does teach very basic principles of wargaming, right? Having the right pieces, right? Having the waiting teaches you patience. War games are about nothing. They're about patience. They're about knowing about the time to attack. I've always said I'm a very aggressive war gamer, right? But with that being said, you got to know when to attack. So it teaches those principles, and it gives you a little flavor with some of the leaders, and it does have a couple historical battles. I don't exactly remember how they go. It's probably not right. You probably shouldn't take the time to look how you set up the historical battles. I don't even know if I played, but I have played the advanced game. I don't know if I've played the historical. To win the card game, the first player to score 20 points, 20 tricks wins the game. So that's it. But you can modify that as you want. And anyways, this right here, what I was going to say, this silly little game right here got me into much more accessible, smaller games. It's really why I look at a lot of the book games I look at today, and it taught me something, right? It taught me something about accessibility and about how to carry it around with you. So you can. So this right here, the only thing I'd use it for today is to get someone who's an abject beginner into thinking about war games. Maybe they like history. Maybe they're military, right? Maybe they're a Marine, as the case the last person that got into it. And maybe they want to look, they like military history. So that's what I've done with it. But yeah, games like this can be used effectively to get other people into gaming, and it's a neat little game. It's neat I like the look, not the cover, but you could set that up on a desk and it still look. It's a cover, I guess. It's the box art. Still look cool. People look at it and say, "Wow, I still may want to get into that." Right? They still might want to get into that. So yeah, that's what I use them for. I got 2 left. Need to buy some more probably. So just in case I run across some other people, but that's one of the ways I've got. Like I said, I've got 3 people who are dead serious war gamers now into wargaming with this silly little game. All right, that's about all I got for you now. If you can find this game, $5 or less, I do recommend it. It's a great filler game. It's a great game to take with you to play, in an airport, whatever. It's a good game to carry in your briefcase or your bag with you. Yeah, I do recommend it for the right price. Just nothing. Don't go overpaying for it. It is what it is. All right, y'all. That's all I have this week. Hopefully next week I'll have something else. I'll be here next week. I got a couple Lambo games coming to me at this location. So and one's in Spanish, so I'll do that in Espanol, and the others in the newer one, so I'll do that too. So maybe that'll be at the end of the week. I don't know. Real busy right now. Let's hope. Fingers crossed. Let's hope I get done by the end of October, and I can get on a good path for Halloween and start in November, right? Start that fall, nice fall there. Still hotter than firecracker, man. Still in the 90s here. So, yeah. Let's hope for that fall weather. Y'all be good. I'll talk to you soon. And stay safe. Bye-bye.